February 2012. In the Cascade Mountains of Washington, when 16 of America's most seasoned backcountry skiers and snowboarders assembled for a day of fresh tracks and high adventure. What they wouldn't know until it was too late was how precarious their playground would become. Snow had piled up in the days before, a heavy, unstable blanket that beckoned risk as much as it did opportunity. The backcountry, once the domain of a few bold souls, had grown in popularity. Each season, more people pushed past resort boundaries, hiking, skiing, even using helicopters in search of untouched descents. Before 1980, avalanche fatalities in the U.S. rarely exceeded 10 in a winter. By 2012, that number had increased sharply, as many as 34 in one season. Furthermore, many victims were not novices wandering out of bounds. They were experienced, even elite, backcountry users. This was part of a shift: more aggressive terrain, steeper lines, and greater exposure. On that morning, the snow and ice experts at the Northwest Weather and Avalanche Center had labeled conditions as considerable. That's a warning zone. Avalanches can be triggered by a skier or rider. They gathered at Stevens Pass, just east of Seattle, on the brink of Tunnel Creek. Some stayed within the boundary, and some eyed beyond. At daybreak, Ski Patrol launched their early safety protocols. Across the ridge, they dropped small explosives into the chutes below them, a typical method intended to trigger small releases before crowds arrived. With muffled blasts, waves of snow slid harmlessly into deserted slopes. Those detonations echoed, and as skiers at the lifts heard them, they cheered. A powder day had been declared. Meanwhile, in the small town of Leavenworth far below, Chris Rudolph was awakened by his partner, Anne. He had planned a meeting that morning, but had already mapped out a better plan in his mind. Go ski. Anne remembered him telling her, "It's going to be so good, babe. I'm going to take some folks up to Tunnel Creek." Tunnel Creek, she said, was his grail, a place where he could show off for friends. By mid-morning, the group, each confident in their skill, each accustomed to heavy snow and sharp terrain, set out. They split off from the resort's groomed runs, pushing across ridges, testing cornices, stamping out weak overhangs. Their route led them toward the narrow chasm known as Tunnel Creek, a steep, constricted funnel that would demand respect and precision. They talked, they laughed, they sized up the terrain. None expected that their greatest test wouldn't come from gravity, but from the snow itself. As they approached the lip above Tunnel Creek, the slope steepened. The mountain seemed to pause, watching. Beneath their skis lay a fragile balance of stress and release. In that moment, seconds before disaster, they did not know the tragedy poised to ensue. The slab of snow above them had reached its tipping point.